Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fragrant Bunker. I have a very interesting selection of perfumes today. I was thinking the other day, well, there's these like perfumes that I sometimes have laying around in my collection and that I don't really gravitate towards very often. And I'm just like, oh, random, you know? And I thought, oh, well, let me gather my random perfumes and let's do the top 5 random perfumes. You know, the ones, the occasional ones, you know, we all have them. You're not really going to let them go. I mean, I'm a hoarder. When I buy a perfume, I commit. So even if I'm not like in love with it later on and I discover a couple of months down the line or a year or two down the line, like maybe it's not really my zhuzh, I still don't have the heart to well, I might give them as a gift to loved ones, you know, friends and family, but I don't sell perfumes. So anyway, these are my top 5 random perfumes. You know, go figure, right? So subscribe to my channel first before we get to it. This is the most random perfume video I've ever done, but I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of exciting. New territories. Subscribe to my channel, push the join button next to the subscription button, become a member today, gain access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon, superdacob all spelled together there as well for extra perks. So thank you to my members and patrons who have pledged. This is my list. Okay, so there's been a lot of talk lately, and you're gonna, IYKYK, you're gonna know why this one made the list when I tell you the story. There's been a lot of talk lately about the brand new Les Exclusives, a Comète fragrance, which, you know, head notes, cherry blossom, the whole, oh, cherry blossom smells cheap, you know, smells like shampoo, smells usually like something you don't really want to deal with in perfume form. Usually smells very synthetic, doesn't really have a smell of its own, so it's kind of always an interpretation by the perfumer, like what sort of nuance do you want to give cherry blossom? And cherry blossom usually ends up being that kind of shampoo-y, hair salon, but cheapish product, hair product type of vibe. And of course, I remember having purchased blindly in my collection one of the perfumes that they're not called cherry blossom, but the top note is a cherry blossom accord, which, you know, just like Comète, has the cherry blossom accord in the top note. So I was thinking to myself, oh, let me hunt it out again and let me kind of sniff it again. And I actually sprayed it on a little tissue paper. Cha. Okay. Well, anyway, here's my number 1 random, top 5 random perfumes. It's Cabotin Rose. Now, yes, rose, not cherry blossom, but rose. And in fact, this perfume is about rose, peony, mimosa. There's musks in there, but head note, it's that cherry blossom shampoo vibe that, but coincidentally, I actually tried it on the other day and I'm like, you know, the dry down is interesting. That cherry blossom note kind of dissipates. So we have cherry blossom pear, mandarin orange, black currant in the top notes. And then it goes into rose, peony, mimosa, pepper, tuberose, jasmine, lily, orange blossom. I'm like, girl, there's everything in here. And then the base notes have frangipani. Yeah, frangipani in here, musk, sandalwood, and vetiver. I'm like, is this a... Yeah, it's very synthetic. I mean, you know, I am a big fan of the green Cabotin, the OG Cabotin, but then there's this Flanca Cabotin Rose, which is so random. This is definitely, in my collection, top 5 random perfumes. Cabotin Rose. And, you know what? It has projection. It has a silage. I mean, this thing stays, okay? And if you like a very clean, soapy, rosy, but cherry blossomy vibe, then this is for you. You know. I mean, why not? From time to time, it's a vibe. Ish, you know. Anyway, so there's that. Number 2 of my randoms had to be really Comme des Garçons, homonymous perfume. Now this is so random, in fact. You know, I love it, but let's just say this is one of those perfumes where the concept beats the smell. This is a highly conceptual perfume. I think if we were to bottle niche into a bottle and like, what is niche? What is a niche perfume? And everybody's going to have their opinion. Somebody's going to tell you, oh, it's the ouds. Oh, no, it's the incenses. Oh, no, it's those brands that are like super weird, kooky. No, it's Nasomatto with the black or the white Afghan or whatever. No, it's Comme des Garçons, because let me tell you, okay, I love aldehydes. So it opens up with aldehydes, but then it goes into saffron leather. We love that as well. Up until this moment, you think, oh, this is all normal. Don't get fooled for a second. The randomness of this one. It goes into styrax, hawthorn, overdose of hawthorn. I'm a bit difficult with hawthorn. And then it goes into the base notes, which are industrial glue and brown scotch tape. Also, a smell of, 80s computer plastic when you unbox a computer brand new. It has that office smell, okay? So, yeah. Industrial glue, brown sticky tape, plastic computers in an office. Very random, isn't it? So it starts off with that kind of hawthorn, and the hawthorn is very, very heavy in here. Like for me, this is a hawthorn heavy perfume, and I think the overdose of hawthorn together with the aldehydes kind of trick you, also styrax as well, but they trick you into thinking about, industrial glue and brown tape, but random, super random. Now I've encountered people in my life that actually have gone through several bottles of this. Yes. People actually, when it first came out many years ago, would wear it a lot. And I love the concept of the bottle. The bottle doesn't stand up on its own. It always falls to the side. It's made that way on purpose. It's all kind of melty, like a reject of a bottle. Like, let's experiment with bottles, and then like it didn't work out, so it's a reject. So Comme des Garçons used that concept of a reject bottle to create a very conceptual perfume. This is, for me, the definition of niche, where you really kind of have to love a concept to appreciate a perfume, and the perfume on its own is not likable from the get-go. You have to understand it first before you like it or even fall in love with it. So it's very random. Love it though. I love this one so much. It also comes kind of in a vacuum form, kind of like bag, like all the air sucked out of it, and then it's kind of in a cardboard box laying flat. I mean, it's beautiful. Conceptually speaking, Comme des Garçons can do no wrong in my book, and this is definitely in my top 5 random ones. Go figure. Now, the next one is random because, well, I'm not a fan of Alien by Thierry Mugler. Okay, not at all. I've said this many times in my videos. It's kind of a situation where all the wrong people have worn it in my life, people that are really mean and nasty. So I associate this perfume, as well as Angel by Thierry Mugler, with some really, really disgusting people, disgusting human beings. So I can't help it. When I smell this perfume, I go into my mode, But there is a flanker of Alien, the Eau Extraordinaire, which randomly I do like. Go figure. And here we got, is that fascinating? How, like, okay. Bergamot, tea, Tunisian neroli, lemon, lime, orange, tiar flower, orange blossom, heliotrope, pepper, ylang ylang, white amber, cashmeran, vanilla, sandalwood, white musk. This thing is warm. It's a warm version of Alien. And it warms up nicely on the skin. It doesn't have that fully blown synthetic Alien jasmine-y smell that Alien has. This one is kind of softened out. I do think that the ylang ylang here butters it up a little bit, creams it up, doesn't make it so UFO electric alien-like, but rather brings it down to earth a little bit and butters it up and makes it a little bit more balmy. So it is very wearable. So very random, because me and Alien and Angel, not a fan. So random, very random, that actually one of the Aliens from Thierry Mugler I do like, and that would be the Eau Extraordinaire. It's a refillable bottle, but I never kind of plucked this thing off because, I never used up the whole thing. I do like the bottle as well, very Thierry Mugler, from the time when he was still with us. So there you have it. Tiare flower is also a kind of a beautiful, creamy, balmy touch in this fragrance. It kind of creams up everything really nice. So that's my number 3. Number 4, darling, would be super random also. Watermelon and rose, basically. So for the most part, now I do watermelon and lemon, watermelon, mandarin, orange, grapefruit, and then of course there's jasmine. It's like in every concoction you're going to have in some way, shape, or form jasmine. Jasmine is like the most utilized flower in perfumery and the most recognizable. Check this out. We got Courage, the mini jupe, or jupe, I think mini jupe. It means the mini skirt by André Courage in this pinky juice, which doesn't look that pinky kind of, and does a little bit on... There's vanilla in here, so the juice is getting darker. The vanilla tends to become a little bit brownish with time. But it was a very light strawberry kind of pink juice, and then with age it kind of turns a little bit darker. Beautiful little bobble, round, spheric lid to this little thing, stopper. I don't mind this one. So now watermelon, you know, random. It's kind of more the idea. It's the watermelon is there, the opening. It's just a kind of a zesty. I think you could just say aldehydes here as well, really, that mimic a watermelon. You don't really smell the watermelon. You do maybe just some fresh aquatic version of a strawberry, really, kind of marmalade strawberry watermelon-y type of vibe. And then yeah, mandarin orange, grapefruit, jasmine, orange blossom, violet, vanilla, musk, amberwood, and sandalwood. Very synthetic, very synthetic. But random. I really, in the beginning, I bought this because of the bottle. I really love the André Courage. This is the A and C. André Courage, one of the forefathers of space age, you know, in the late 60s and early 70s. So I love André Courage's fashion and accessories. I love the eyewear. Everybody remembers Salvador Dali and Audrey Hepburn wearing the Inuit white André Courage sunglasses with the little slits on them. I do have them in my collection, by the way. So those are like staples of Courage history, and the perfumes a little bit less so. Some of them created after André's passing. But this kind of spheric white concept and the A and C in futuristic font brings us back to the late 60s, early 70s. Space age is one of the favorite design-wise, furniture design, architecturally speaking, and fashion-wise, one of my favorite epochs of all time. So to have a bottle that resembles space age in any way, shape, or form, or that homages space age, is definitely a yes in my book. André Courage's colors were symbolic. It was rose, almost like a fuchsia rose, pink rose, silver, and white. Those are the signature colors of André Courage. So of course here we have the rose and the white. And love this bottle. The original mini dress bottle was not like this. It was kind of a flat, really boring design. And then they changed that to rein it more back into what André Courage used to design in the 60s. So I do prefer the second design bottle, which is this one here, the mini dress. Super cute. I mean, the bottle, it was worth the purchase. So really very random. As you can see, I haven't used it much, but I appreciate it. And it does make me happy every time I kind of pass by it on one of my shelves and I see this little cutie from the space age era. I reminisce, you know, and it makes me happy. I just love André Courage. So there you go. Super random. But hey, it's a top 5 random perfumes. And the number 5, oh my gosh. Okay, so here's what we will go, but also hear me out. This one is maybe borderline not so random. Yeah. Or, it kind of is. Because the reason why I purchased this perfume originally was because I was hoping, so it's been discontinued, but I was hoping for, and I purchased it like new, like dead stock, but, you know, from some pre-loved website. And I was hoping to receive the first edition packaging. So kind of random. I was purchasing this perfume because I wanted it to be on a pedestal, and then the lid is on top, and then you lift the lid and the perfume is kind of laying on a pedestal. Now, that was the first launch, the first edition. And then right after the first, Kate Moss was the face of this perfume. So here's a little hint. And then they, you know, took that away, made it much cheaper. And unfortunately, I got the newer, cheaper box. And the box then, you know, it was too costly to manufacture, the pedestal and the lid going off, you know, classic perfumery, beautiful, bougie, old school vibes. No, they kind of discontinued that box in favor of the simpler, you know, you know how you open, like here, my foundation, you know, makeup. I'm using Estella. By the way, hashtag not sponsored. And also everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. Thumb up the video while you're at it if you're enjoying. You know how you open these, like class. This is a double wear foundation. That's the foundation I use anyway. But it's just to show you the box. It's the only one I have here that opens up classically. You know, just like kind of, you know, classic. You open it up and then you pull out the well, that's what I got. Instead of getting the beautiful, elegant box, they sent me the new version of the box. So alas, random, because I was more intrigued by the presentation of the perfume than the actual smell. But then once I received the perfume and I could pass by the disappointment of the box, super random. This is a random selection. I love the perfume. So here it is. Secret Obsession. Very 70s, isn't it? Look at this gorgeous little thing. Looks like a genie in a bottle type of vibe, but it also looks like some, yeah, space pod or alien vessel or a flower. If you see, it can also look in some way, shape, or form like a flower or nutmeg, which coincidentally this has a ton of. So you lift this lid off and you get nutmeg, plum, mace, rose, tuberose, jasmine, orchid, ylang-ylang, orange blossom, sandalwood, amber, vanilla, cashmere wood, cedar, wormwood, and orris root. Oh, this is a beauty. It is such an understated, well, I mean, underestimated, really, underrated. I think that when it comes to Calvin Klein's original obsession, it still holds to this day. Coty is the current distributor. Who knows who's going to be the distributor in the future, but for now it's Coty. And now this one is discontinued as far as I know. I haven't seen it in ages in stores. Secret Obsession by Calvin Klein. It's a flanker to Obsession, but it's really cool in its own right. Quite sophisticated as a perfume. You know, once you get over that weird nutmeg accord, which is very pasty green in a weird way, you kind of go into this tuberose, jasmine, orchid, ylang-ylang, orange blossom, rose, floral garden. But then you get all those synthetic woods at the base and the orris root pulling it all down, but kind of mixing it together. It's almost like you're preparing a paste, like an oily paste for some secret potion you're going to make or some secret recipe, you know. And I love the name Secret Obsession because it's a little secret tip, this perfume, you know. It's very sensual. Look at that heat kind of coming from within, very ambery at its core, at its base. It's a very ambery accord, and it's a beautiful bottle. What can I say? Very random. I wanted the box, didn't get the box, but loved the perfume. And I use this one rarely, although, I mean, look at that. I mean, it has quite a dent. Look how much just I already used up of this one. You know, it's a very, very interesting, intriguing tuberose rose vibe in here. And yeah, that classic Obsession, the OG Obsession Amber is here as well, but it's spiced up. It's a spicy nutmeg version of it with plum. So it's heavier, it's darker, it's much darker than Obsession. Obsession is a powdery amber scent, sandy, powdery, airy. Okay, this is the opposite. This thing goes down underground. This is an earthy underground amber accord. Dark, moody, and foreboding, darling. I really love this one. But it's also kind of clean and, you know, cosmetic-y in a way. So this is cute. This is a cute, cute, cute little flanca. You know, this is how a flanca is done right, in my humble opinion. Those would be my top 5 random perfumes. Now, do you have any random perfumes in your collection? Like where you would say like, oh yeah, that's that perfume that I bought for the weirdest reason, or I was gifted, but I didn't have the heart to kind of give it away, and it's just kind of still staying there, reminds me of the person or not, or maybe, you know. Yeah, I do use it from time to time. Oh yeah, that's the random perfume in my collection for this or that reason. I would love to hear the reasons. First of all, I want to hear which perfumes are the random ones in your collection, and then the reasons, because I'm sure there are the craziest stories accompanying some of these fragrances that you have in your collection that you don't really, you know, you're not like head over heels in love with them. They're there. You enjoy them from time to time, but they're kind of random for you because your love isn't like fully there with it. You're not fully committed, but they have some random reason of being there, despite the fact that the smell alone does not win you over. Let me know in the comment section down below. And until next time, subscribe, thumb up this video if you've enjoyed it, and never give up on fragrant love. Bye. Mwah.